And who might you be? The Zora King is not accepting visitors at this time. I shall escort you out.
Pardon my manners, but are you a Hylian?
Why didn't you say so in the first place? Please, please, come in. Get those shuttles. Let's find an opening. We're getting closer. Now go. Marvelous. You did it.
has a long reach. Careful, not much room to operate. Please accept Mifa's grace. Link. 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 Thanks to you, all of the divine beasts have returned to us, and the spirits of the champions are free. We will all be awaiting your clash with Ganon at Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.